All right. Happy Black History Month, or whatever. Listen up. There's inherently something wrong with the disposition of so-called black people in this country, America. For one thing, America was stolen. It's a stolen country. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a fabricated lie. It's a myth. So get that out of your head. 2, black people in this country will never be taken seriously because they are not willing to do what is necessary to be taken seriously. By that, I mean black people will not go that extra mile or will not take serious steps in order to be heard or be taken as a serious threat or a nation to be, for lack of a better word, fucked with. Not to be fucked with, I should say. And by that I mean you've been placated. You've been made docile. You've been made to have to ask for everything. Ask for your freedom. Ask for equality. Ask for a place setting at a proverbial table in order to have a voice, which isn't even your voice. You've been given a voice. The voice that you use or that you have decided is your voice isn't even your own. You don't know what you want. You know what you want is what someone else tells you you want, or what you see that someone else wants. You see what the controlling system or establishment and the people that run that system and establishment, you see what they have and you want it. They've made you feel like it's what you want. It's not necessarily what you want, but because this is where you are, you've been made to believe that what they have, status, is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So you go out of your way to try to get it. You see rap artists, you see entertainers, you see actors, you see all these different successful people using status and trying to accumulate as much wealth and money as possible in order to have these status symbols and to be considered wealthy by the standards of the controlling nation of people in this country, the controlling system, the controlling establishment. That's number 1. Number 2, this voice that I was speaking of, that you use in order to identify with what you think you want, it's begging. You're literally begging to be taken seriously. Even today. I mean, it goes back to as far as when we were first brought here, or when those of us that were already here as indigenous natives of this land, brown people with wavy, curly, woolly hair, were living here as native, what they call Native Americans. But even those that were brought here from another continent that is erroneously named or called Africa, even as far back as then, we began rebelling. That's how we started, and it was a weekly thing. Not just weekly, it was all the time, to the point where it was annoying, and they had to do something. There were uprisings, there were rebellions, slaves were constantly running away. They were running away to the indigenous tribes and staying with them and forming alliances and trying to come up with ways to fight back. Eventually it was sequestered, of course, and they decided to come up with these laws and rules to try to make you think that you had some sort of status or place in this system. They came up with amendments to their constitution and to their legislation. If you were a slave that was born here, you're a citizen. The 14th Amendment, the 13th Amendment. And then they evolved into you being placated. You lost your fire, and you began to do things like march and give speeches and protest. All these little things that they would say or orchestrate or tell you how it is the right way to go about getting things done. Peaceful protests. That's the way. Don't be violent. Don't disrupt the status quo. Don't do anything to make the establishment or the system upset with you, so that they'll have to harm you or detain you. Do it peacefully, so that you're seen. And the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you just let us know, we'll be happy to work with you. We'll bend over backward to make sure that you're taken care of. That's the way it runs in America. That's the way things are. If you file a grievance by protesting or by marching or by making it known that you're unhappy, we'll go out of our way to help you. Trust me. Let the system work. How has it worked for you so far? Are you happy? Are you happy with your life? I'm sure that successful people of color are pretty much happy with their lives. They have status, they have money, they have cars, they have houses, they have women, and the women have men, and they have all of these great things that they've accumulated or that is working for them in this system. But what about the majority? Are you happy? Are you happy with seeing unarmed people of color murdered in the street for no reason? Unarmed black children shot for suspicion, not even being guilty of anything, on the basis of being a suspect, just being gunned down, shot. People who have done nothing wrong are being taken care of, taken out without due process, without any sort of, this is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. There's not even any proof. It's just, I see you, you look like a threat, and I'm gonna kill you. That's being judge, jury, and executioner to me. So now, they've made you think that you're equal in this country because you've marched, because you have legislation, you have these amendments that say that you're equal in every way. But are you really? No, you're not. You can't get the same jobs. You can't get the same housing. You can't live the same way as they do. But they'll tell you you can. It's the American dream. All you have to do is work hard. Make as much money as us. And you can live just like we do. But if you don't work hard, you're not going to be able to be as equal as us, basically. Just work hard. Make as much money as you can. If you make all that money, you'll be just as equal as we are. It's a joke. It's not true. So now they've beaten you into submission. They've made you think that protesting and marching is the way to get things done. So you'll never be taken seriously. You think they care if you march? You think they care if you march up to the White House and sit out front and yell with a bullhorn? You think they care about that? They don't care. It's not going to help. It's not going to make them change. There is nothing that a peaceful protest, that a march, that a speech is going to do to change the way they are or the way this system is. Because it hasn't changed for 50 years. It hasn't changed for 100 years. But they'll tell you it has. They'll say, oh, things are much better than it was back, during the Jim Crow era. Or back when, Martin Luther King was marching, and you had white only this and colored only this, and it was separate. And you get hit over the head with a billy club for looking at a white woman. It's much better than that. Oh yeah, it's great. Thank you. Thank you for stop treating me that way. I really appreciate that. But it's not. Just because I don't suffer the same abuse that I used to 50 years ago doesn't mean I don't suffer another form of abuse in a different manner or in a different way. You still get treated like shit. I still get murdered. I still have an unequal sentencing when it comes to the judicial system. You have a white rapist that gets 3 months and a black rapist that'll get 10 years, 10 to 20 years. You have a white guy that's selling hard methamphetamines and all kinds of cocaine and stuff. He'll get a year and probably get off early for good behavior. You have a black guy selling some weed or having possession of weed. They get 20 years. The system is different for us. And because you don't openly abuse us by sicking dogs on us, turning hoses on us, hitting us with a billy club, it doesn't mean you haven't figured out other ways to get us that you deem legal. When you have people that kill us, murder us, and get away with it, scot-free. Get paid vacation, paid leave. And then you'll say, oh, well, you kill each other anyway. Really? That makes it any better? So it's like, oh, you kill each other, so we'll join in on it. But guess what? You kill each other too. Should we jump in on that too? Yeah, I digress. My point is this, because I'm just running kind of long. I want you all, my people of color, of all color, not just so-called Afro-American. I'm talking to all people of color, whether you're a Hispanic, African American, Indian, because you're brown too, come from the Middle East, Asia. If you are brown, all they see you as is a different kind of nigger. You're a different kind of black. You're a different kind of black person. You're not the same as them. So, you will never be taken seriously because they've made you docile by telling you that being peacefully protesting is the way to get things done. So they're not going to take your peaceful protesting seriously. They're not going to take your taking a knee seriously. They're going to chide you for it. They're going to criticize you for it. They're going to hate you for it. Who told you it was okay to disrupt the status quo? Who told you it was okay not to stand for the pledge or for the national anthem? I don't care if it's a peaceful protest. I don't care if we told you this is how you're supposed to protest. Don't do things contrary to what makes them comfortable. Because that's not how they showed you to do things. File agreements, file a complaint, file a formal complaint, and we'll get to it later, basically. In order to be taken seriously, you have to do serious things. Otherwise, they will never, ever treat you with the respect that you deserve. Being taken seriously involves demanding your rightful title or your rightful equality, because right now they don't see you as equal, and you're not equal anyway. You are much more than equal, and you have to recognize that. You have power. You have to utilize that power. You have to be powerful. And that power is doing what is necessary to be taken seriously. Now you might ask, well, what do we need to do to be taken seriously? What is it you're saying that is necessary to be taken seriously? The only way someone takes you seriously is if you pose a threat. This country takes other countries seriously that pose a threat. They take Russia seriously. Russia poses a threat. They take North Korea seriously. North Korea poses a threat. They take Iran seriously. They took Iraq seriously until they took them out. But there's a reason why they take these countries seriously. I want you to just think about it. What does North Korea have, or what are they doing, or what do they do that makes them turn an eye towards them and say, we should keep an eye on them. They're doing things, or they're experimenting with things that are serious and might have an impact on the safety and security of this country. And when you figure that out, then you will understand what I'm saying when I say you have to do things which will make them take you seriously. That is all.